In this video, we're going to show you how to replace a radiator on your Chevy Silverado. This will be located behind the cooling fans. Let's get started. Remove the four 10mm bolts on the bottom of the skid plate. We only have two. Remove the two 15mm bolts at the top. Remove the shield. Under the car on the passenger side, we're going to look up above the right side of the frame rail. Right next to these AC lines, there's going to be a drain cock on the side of the radiator. We're going to reach up and twist that valve. If you need to, you can use a pair of pliers to grab onto it to get it started. Then open it up until the coolant starts to drain out. With the coolant draining, we're going to go up top and start disassembling. Using a clip removal tool, remove all the clips for the top cover. Lift the cover up from the back and pull it out of the front and remove the cover. Looking down on the passenger side, you're going to find a clip for our plastic on top of the radiator. We're going to pull on that tab right there with a right angle pick and then go do the same thing on the other side. Pop the clips up and out. Back under the vehicle, once our coolant's done draining, we're going to close that petcock. Install the skid plate, get the bolts started. Snug the bolts down. Install the top bolts for the skid plate. Snug the bolts down. We're going to remove the intake. There should be band clamps on either side. We're going to use a flat blade screwdriver. Loosen the clamp. Remove the PCV hoses off of the intake. Remove the MAP sensor. Pull back on the red tab. Push on the black. Pull straight back. Your intake might not look like this one, but it should have all of the same parts. Once everything is loose and removed, go ahead and remove the intake. Remove the coolant hose from the two clips on the fan assembly. Flop it back. On the passenger side, we're going to remove the top coolant hose going to the reservoir. Pinch the clamp and pull it back. Remove the hose. With our radiator fully drained, we're going to take off the upper radiator hose. Pinch the clamp, pull it back, and remove the hose off the radiator. You may have a little bit of fluid trapped in this top hose. Bend it back out of the way. Remove the plastic stave for the oil cooler. Remove the two plastic stays for the fan connectors. On the bottom, we're going to remove the two plastic stays for the coolant pipe. Remove the fan connector. Pull the lock back for the fan connector. Push it straight down. Push on the black tab. Remove the connector. Do the same thing on the other fan connector. Pull the lock out, push on the tab, remove the connector. On the bottom of the driver's side of the fan, we're going to remove the plastic stay. Using a 10mm socket, remove the bolts at the top of the fan shroud. Do the same thing on the other side. Pull the fan assembly up towards the passenger side and then remove it from the vehicle. Remove the black cap from the line. Using a small pick, we're going to get under the metal clip, pull it up to the side. Pop the clip out of place. Be sure that you have a finger on these. They are very easy to lose. They'll spring off and you'll be looking for them forever. Do the same thing on the bottom line. Do the same thing on the other side. These lines will be for the transmission fluid. Pop the caps off. Remove the clips. Remove the lines. Be sure you have a collection bucket or some rags under you. Some fluid will come out when we remove these hoses. Pull the hoses off of the radiator. Remove the oil cooler lines on the passenger side. Be sure you have the collection bucket under you. Using a pair of pliers, pinch the clamp for the bottom radiator hose, slide it back, pull the hose off of the radiator. Be sure you have a coolant bucket under you. There will probably be some more coolant that comes out of this. Pull the line out of the bracket on the side. Using a 13mm socket, remove the two top bolts for the radiator. Tilt the radiator back and remove the upper baffle. Remove the plastic cap for the line going from the radiator to the condenser. This will be on the driver's side. Pull that cap back and we're going to pull this metal clip out. There it goes. Remove it from the line. Remove the line from the condenser. And remove the line. And we'll go do the same thing on the passenger side. Remove the clip, pull the line out of the condenser. Push on this black tab and pull the condenser up as you push on it. Pull the condenser up and out of the radiator brackets. There's one on bottom as well. Make sure it's disconnected from that. Go to the driver's side and repeat that same process. Lift the radiator up and out of the vehicle. Remove the grommets off of either side of the radiator. We're going to swap these over to our new one. Remove the top grommets. Install the top grommets onto the new radiator. Install the bottom grommets. And we're ready to install. Install the radiator down into place. Line the grommets up with the holes in the bottom support. We're going to lift the condenser up and install it into the back of the radiator. Be sure that both top and bottom clips are seated. Push it down into place. We'll go do that same thing on the other side. We're going to get the lines installed onto the condenser. First, we're going to get the clips installed on either side. Push it around, make sure it locks in. Do the same thing on the passenger side. Install the top clip of the radiator. Install the radiator to condenser pipe. Install it in the radiator first. Push it into place, you'll hear a click. Give it a pull, make sure it's locked in. Then install it into the condenser. Make sure it clips into place. Give it a pull, make sure it's locked in. Slide the black caps up to the fittings. Get them snapped into place. Install the line on the passenger side. Get it clicked into place. Pull the plastic up, click it around the clip. Install the line into the side of the radiator. Install the top air baffle. Push the air baffle down, clicking it into place on both sides. Install the radiator bolts. Get them started by hand. Snug the bolts down. Install the lower radiator hose. Pinch the clamp and pull it back into place. Install the metal clips onto the oil cooler fittings. Install the lines. Push them into place until they snap. Pull that black plastic cover up. Do the same thing on the bottom. Give your lines a pull, make sure they don't come out. We're going to go over to the passenger side and do the bottom line. Pull the cover up and on. Install the fan. Be sure the fan is sitting in the bottom brackets. Get the bolt started on either side. Snug the bolts down. Install the connectors for the fan. Push until you hear a click. If you don't hear a click, give it a pull. Make sure it's locked on. Close the locking tab. Install the plastic stay. Do the same thing on the other fan. Install the cooling hose plastic stays. One right here, one right here. Install the oil cooler line plastic stay. On the bottom of the passenger side, we have one more plastic stay. Install the upper radiator hose. Pull the clamp back into position. Make sure the clamp is unlocked. Pull the cooling hose back and install it into the fan brackets. Install the hose onto the radiator from the coolant tank. Pinch the clamp and pull it back into position. Install the intake. Snug down the clamps. Install the PCV hose. Install the MAF sensor connector. Push until you hear a click. If you don't, give it a pull. Make sure it's locked on. Close that red tab. Snug down the clamp on the other side. Install the top trim piece. Install all of the clips. Fill the coolant reservoir with coolant. Fill it to the max line. You can find this on the front of the reservoir. Install the cap. To check your transmission fluid, we're going to remove the dipstick, flip the handle up, pull it out. We're going to wipe it off using a clean rag. Reinsert the dipstick. Push it all the way down, wait 3 seconds. Pull it out. There's a cold and a hot mark on our dipstick. You want your transmission fluid in the cold mark area. If it's not, add fluid until it reaches that point. Reinsert the dipstick. Once your fluid is at that cold range, it's safe to drive the vehicle around and get it up to temperature for a hot check. You'll repeat this same process while the transmission is at 160 to 200 degrees Fahrenheit, and you'll look for that level at the hot mark on the dipstick. Adjust as necessary, and you're good to go.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.